my God.
Hey guys, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm your host, Alex Whiteley. Just me today, but with Birgitta. How's it going?
Hello, lovely. I'm fine, thank you.
I'm so glad to finally do this in person with you, because the last time I did this it was one of my first sort of Skype, sort of Zoom interviews.
It was hilarious.
It was hilarious. I listened back to it this morning because I thought, how did that go last time? And I had this weird crackle all the way through it. It sounded terrible. So
It was a bit peculiar.
it was just getting used to using. I think that sort of that type of technology has kind of come a long way in the last sort of 6 months or so. It's got had to. But the way I was recording was with this Zoom I've got here, and the cables that I get are cheap things, and that's where the crackle was coming from. So, yeah, the transition from Zoom was great, because then you can record off Zoom straight away.
Oh, that's quite good then.
So this is what I mean. Everything sort of changed for me. But yeah, it's been a while since I spoke to you. How have you been since the last time I spoke to you, actually? Because last time we were in the midst of lockdown and you were doing the family portrait.
I was in the middle of those. Well, in the end, I did 180 family portraits during lockdown. And thanks to everybody's contributions, we were able to raise £1,800 for the Shrewsbury Food Bank. So I think I'm so proud of that.
I think even though the £1,800 that you raised was a fantastic feat, I think what you did was worth more than that. Because you guys were in the paper. It was like Shrewsbury's this great community. That's what you did. You raised the bar a little bit, and everybody that was in lockdown across the UK was kind of like, oh. I can imagine that's how it went. Lots of miles walked for that then?
Cycled.
Cycled, yes.
Yeah, so I was on my bike like a mad woman with my bike and my rucksack and my camera in my rucksack. But it was lovely. During actual lockdown, it was really quite peaceful on the roads. So it was always a pleasure to be out on my bike, and I felt quite safe. The odd car that did come past, obviously, it passed quite a lot faster than they usually would. But no, it was really nice. We were so blessed with gorgeous weather as well. So every day was a pleasure to be outside.
That was the thing, wasn't it? It was like, oh, you got to go into your houses now, everybody. Everybody go into your houses. The sun's going to come out, and you're going to sit and look at it. You
can go in the garden.
I mean, I didn't have a garden. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is true. Not everybody had a garden.
I mean, where we're going to be moving soon, we're going to have the Rebrook right next to us, which would be cool.
You got somewhere?
Yeah, we got somewhere. We've had somewhere for a while, but we've been waiting for the keys. It's been an admin nightmare from what we're waiting for. There's been this war going on between two different companies, and that's what we've been waiting for ultimately. So that's why we've been in the position we have been during lockdown. Oh, we love these things. Things have changed for you an awful lot since then. Was it the portraits and what you were doing promotionally for Shrewsbury that was kind of a boost for you, or was that all this happening for you anyway?
I can't deny that it's turned out to be an amazing experience for me in so many ways. I feel bad saying that lockdown was really good for me.
No, I've said this before. I said this on the last show with Harriet, that yes, 2020 was a terrible year with terrible things, still terrible things happening. California's on fire, but yeah.
You have to look for all the bright sparks, and I just feel very lucky that the project was embraced the way it was, that people have embraced me and what I do as much as they have. As a result of the doorstep portraits, Shrewsbury Bid got in touch with me and commissioned me to do the business doorstep portraits of businesses reopening in Shrewsbury. So I've done about 94 of those. I've got a few left to do.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, I have, and the help of friends and family, I've been able to reopen my studio here in the Parade. So, which I'm absolutely thrilled about with my delightful new neighbour.
Yeah, well, for now.
For now. And of course, I've got the lovely Amy, Madame Lama's flower bar opposite me, which is wonderful.
I could not believe when I walked past that studio. I walked past it, stopped, went, no. Took a few steps back and looked, and this is okay. So if anybody's ever been to the Shrewsbury Biscuit and done an interview with us, that bright white room, it's not a horrible room by any means, but it was just a green carpet with plain white walls where we were before, is now looks like something it's like a room out of a palace. Honestly, it's beautiful green walls with the gold corners, the flowers, and Amy's done an amazing job of that. Well, you know,
It's gorgeous. I'm going to go take her photographs after this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I am proud of what she's done here, because I've never seen a transformation like it. I know it's a blank palette.
What
right?
about my studio?
Until that's a good point, actually. That is a good point. I recorded in that room a couple of days before you moved in, and it did not look anything like what it looks now. And I do actually remember walking past yours as well, taking a few steps, going, oh no, and taking a few steps like that.
That's right, you can't backtrack now, you've dug a hole now.
I think actually, which is perfect for you, I think your studio looks better through the camera than it looks amazing when you walk past.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it was actually the pictures you put on Facebook that I was like, oh my God, look how brilliant it looks. And I think that's good for you, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. No, it was initially that blue office nylon carpet, magnolia walls, and I've turned it into a giant light box basically, and painted it brilliant white, and then chosen some beautiful laminate wood flooring that's also white. I'm a bit obsessed with white.
Does it help? That like a photography thing? I suppose it helps with the light, I guess.
It does help because obviously the lighting in that studio is completely different to my old one, because I had a beautiful big window in daylight. Now I'm in the cellar and I've got a cellar window, but the light only comes sort of like 3-4 in the afternoon, depending on what time of year. So I've had to adjust things. For different photographers work in different ways. I do prefer natural daylight, so I'm now having to learn how to fake it in the studio. Okay. And different photographers have different styles. So some people prefer sort of dark and moody. I've always been a light, bright person.
Light, bright person, I like that.
Well, it reminds me of houses back home in Holland. So they have high ceilings and often white walls and lots of greenery, and it's just open and you can breathe. So I think wherever I make my studio, that's kind of how I'd like my house to be, really.
I think in my studio, I think of like glass, like a bit like these, like sort of glass sort of entrance with Shrewsbury Biscuit logo in the background, some foam along the walls, nice big desk, a bit like an anchor desk, you know?
Yeah.
And the microphones. It's amazing. I mean, you have these visions about what you actually want, and is this exactly what you...
I've been manifesting it for over a year, imagining it, wanting it, looking for it. I knew that one day I wanted to have my own place with my own front door, and I knew how I wanted it to look. And I'm very grateful for the places that I've been before, because they've taught me what I do want and what I didn't want, and this is pretty much spot on.
And I think it helps that the parade here is changing so much, so rapidly as well. It's like every day, every week there seems to be something different. Nick is up there painting the car park as we speak. Like, they've just taken the dinosaurs away, and now he's painting the car park. And I'm like, wow, it just changes.
That's it. Well, Betty from Shropshire Festivals has done an amazing job. She's doing the marketing for the parade now, and it's just a wonderful community anyway. And I'm really thrilled to be part of it. I feel very, very blessed to be part of it.
I feel amazing. It's because this place is doing so well that we're struggling for space at the moment. We are looking for a permanent studio, by the way, if anybody's interested.
Come on, guys, somebody give Biscuit the home.
I think we had this idea of if somebody's got like a spare room in their business, and it's hard in Shrewsbury, not a lot of space really.
No.
But if somebody's got like a room they don't really use, and they would like us to come and set up a studio and do what we do at the parade here, and be like, yeah, Biscuit Studios at such and such. Get in touch.
I think what you do is so important for Shrewsbury, because you're a voice for different charities, different businesses, and you promote all the positive stuff, and you approach concerns that are going on, and just share all our lovely characters. I think you really deserve a place of your own.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I like hearing that, because it kind of reinforces why I do this. Because sometimes when I'm like into like my fourth piece of editing for the same night, I'm kind of like, why am I doing this? And I have to remember things.
Because lots of us love what you do, and I think it's really important for Shrewsbury. I think you do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I mean, and I don't even think we've hit our full potential as far as listenership is concerned either. Definitely not. I mean, like, I was speaking to a friend I work with about sort of nursing homes, because I feel like what we do, it does help. I know podcasts help with mental health, because it helped me an awful lot. Having having that voice in the background, just having something you're familiar with and something you can giggle with. I mean, I remember like listening to The Nerdist once and listening to Jeremy Irons was on there, and he has this really deep voice. I was Jeremy Irons, and I felt so happy, this warm glow that I could sit and listen to this. That was before I started any sort of podcast, and if I can give that to someone.
I think so. You know my story and my history, and I do enjoy listening to your podcast. And you have a voice for radio, definitely. Well, it's quite, you're quite calm and stuff, and I think it would help.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to. I mean, there was somebody that was sending me emails about it's PR for nursing homes, I think it was. And we never really shared it because I was kind of like, it's not really relevant to what we do. But actually, you know what, that was probably our in there. That was probably what we should do. So we'll look into that. Because personally at the moment you're fighting a battle, right?
I am.
Are we okay to talk about this?
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll that was a good little segue, by the way. That was perfect. I like to mention my segues, but the reason why I think it's. We'll talk about this and then we'll circle back to the studio.
Yeah, sure.
Mental health in the UK, especially during lockdown, I feel, because of lockdown, I think it was a terrible thing. And it was bad before lockdown, but lockdown just illustrated how bad it actually is, right?
Yes, it did. Definitely. My sons have really struggled. They've been amazing all through lockdown, but as it continues to go on, they've struggled more and more. But lockdown aside, they'd already been on waiting lists for help for over a year. And I just grew really frustrated. And because I'm not the only story, I was speaking to somebody else and their daughter was really poorly. And I just thought, I was just so angry, I'll be honest. I got very angry one Sunday morning waiting for the crisis team to arrive. And I just sat there on my phone and just wrote out what is still on the change.org petition that I did. That was written from the heart and in a moment of anger and frustration. I'm not a person to put myself out there. I'm quite shy, really, honestly.
I believe you.
But I think there are times when we just have to stand up and be counted. Because I was just thinking, I'm not the only person. There are hundreds of families in Shropshire affected by the lack of mental health provision in Shropshire, and the system is failing horrendously. It's failing families, it's failing individuals, it's failing our young people, it's failing the children. There are, waiting lists at CAMS, there are waiting lists at the crisis team, there are waiting lists at IAPT, and people are desperate for help, and it just strikes me as being such false economy. Because if that's what if that's what the bottom line is all the time, funding, that's what they're always telling us, that funding's being cut, we need to save money. It's not a long-term solution to cut funds to mental health services, because children who are waiting for diagnosis for autism, for ADHD, for any other mental health issues that they have, for anxiety, the sooner they are diagnosed, the sooner that there is intervention, the sooner they get help and support, the sooner they can be well, and the sooner that they can fulfill their potential and be, active members of our community to whatever their limit is. If we don't actively support these people and these families, there are going to be people who are reliant on benefits for the rest of their lives. Who does that do any good? I don't know. My sons are now 19 and 21. My eldest son was diagnosed with autism when he was 16. That's 7 years after he was given a woolly diagnosis of autistic traits. My 18-year-old son was diagnosed with ADHD in October after I went private in desperation, having been with CAMS since he was 7 years old, on and off. So how did they miss that? How did they miss the fact that he's got really severe ADHD, really severe anxiety, and all they've done is medicate him and tell him. The last appointment that we had was in October. I have asked his permission to talk about this because he's
I was going to say that.
he's an adult, and I respect his privacy, but he also understands the importance of this battle.
Yeah.
he has had suicidal ideations from time to time. He has attempted suicide once. In October, this was one of those instances where he was having suicidal ideations, and I went to visit CAMHS, and I asked for a review of his diagnosis and a review of his medication. And the doctor that I saw said, well, we can up his medication, and we can, has he tried these apps to help with his anxiety? And the medication that was on, the side effects are suicidal ideations. So it was not what I wanted at all. And thanks to a family friend, I was able to book a private assessment, and they screened him in that assessment for various things, and they, within an hour, had picked up that he's got ADHD. They were able to give him medication which has undeniably helped him focus. We've managed to get him off the medication that wasn't working, and he now has sleep medication, so he actually sleeps as well. But even in that service, which they've just been commissioned, sorry, I'm a bit lost.
No, that's fine. I can see you struggling. You take your time. Trying to remember the name of it, or
yeah. So he, when I went for the private assessment and they picked up on the ADHD, they said that luckily they'd just been commissioned by the NHS to do adults ADHD assessments. So they could refer me back to my GP, who could then refer us back, and they could do the assessment. But they're not in a position to do much more than assess, diagnose, and medicate. There's a gap in the service where, you know, you're taught and given skills to live with ADHD, because it's actually far more complex than people think. It's far more than just young boys running around being naughty. My son wasn't like that as a kid. He wasn't noisy and boisterous, and it was all internal, or you know, his brain was just yada 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 all the time. So before that instance, he had already self-referred himself, as CAMHS had suggested, to have counselling and CBT with IAPT, and we are still waiting over a year later. So not having that CBT and not having that support and help to manage his anxiety, to learn to live with ADHD, is impacting on his ability to access his education, to the point where it affects his attendance, and that affects his self-confidence. And so I feel my son has been badly failed, because he's 19 now, and can you imagine where he would be if he did have had support sooner? It's far more complicated. There's many more layers to it. But it's
hard to explain your life in 5 minutes. Or 10 minutes.
The bottom line is that both my sons have been massively failed by the mental health provision in Shropshire. And I was so angry that I've started this petition asking for an urgent review of the mental health provision in Shropshire. I've emailed Daniel Kaczynski, Boris Johnson, anyone that would listen.
Any new responses of either of them?
Not of Mr. Johnson so far. I have had an email from Kaczynski's secretary asking, saying that they were very sorry to hear that. Is there anything they can do? Would they like me to phone IAPT? I haven't emailed back yet because I'm a bit cross, because this isn't about me asking to queue jump for my sons. This is about me asking for a review for the whole of Shropshire. I want to advocate and speak for as many people that are affected, and for those that it hasn't come in time for. My friend lost her brother last year because the system failed him. He shouldn't have gone. He should still be here now. And it's for people like him that I'm doing this for. It's for my children. It's for the families that come ahead of us. So I've also written letters of complaint to as many people as possible.
And I think the sad thing is that come this time next year, we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be really struggling with the fact that they're... I mean, I know people aren't living in caves, and I know people aren't... the lockdown rules aren't strict anymore, but there are people that are nervous about going outside, that, you know, probably didn't have mental health issues, that probably will have when it comes to next year. So it's going to be a well-needed service, and I've got to be careful in kind of how I speak about mental health services around Shropshire, because I work with them.
Sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I do agree with you so
and it isn't I don't want to come at this from an adversarial point. That's not even what this is about. I don't want to. Yeah, it's not an adversarial thing. I'd rather work with people and help point out things that are going wrong. So I've asked families to email me and message me their stories as fast as possible. Hopefully, by the time this goes out, I'll have had a meeting and it'll have had some impact. We'll have to wait and see.
I remember years ago when they first started talking about cutbacks to the NHS. There was this amazing story that they're like, we're going to get rid of a few doctors. This is when it all first started happening, and they were renovating parts of the Wrexham Myler Hospital, and they spent was it Wrexham Myler? I think I just read the story, and it was just they spent something like £3,000 on a giant rock to put in their courtyard. And everybody was like, "What? What? It's a giant pebble,
I think they've rebranded CAMS to BU for God knows how much that money cost. And that's one of the other things I really want to fight for, is the fact that in Shropshire there is nobody to diagnose autism. The place you have to go is Chester or Cheshire. Sorry, you'll have to edit loads of this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I like these things, organic. It's a chat. It's fine. Yeah. I feel like when they think, let's save some money, they're looking for things that basically looking for less manpower. Basically, so that's why they're like, there's an app for that. That's ridiculous. You can't trust a machine to deal with someone's mental health. No, and not only that. I mean, my son was offered this, and he said. Because he's had ongoing issues for quite some time, he was quite late actually as a young person to getting a phone, so he's not actually used to all this sort of online communication, and he is much more adjusted to face, especially for people who do have ADHD or are anxious or have autism. There are times when it's very, very difficult to read the nuances in text communication, in online communication, even in video, because even with video calls you are using up so much energy to actually read people's faces, to read what actually, so there's no real clear. The only way you can have absolute clear communication is face to face. That body language, yeah.
So isn't it about 80% of communication is body language?
Yeah, I was speaking to someone in the week about it was about somebody that is blind, and they were talking about how people perceive blind people and how they act, especially if they're hard of hearing. And it's sort of like, people might, if they're getting closer to you and they put their hand on your arm or something, they're trying to communicate because it's hard. They're not being pervy and trying to get a look down your top because they can't see, these things that's hard to perceive. Yes. What I was going to say was the app idea for dealing with mental health is such a I get it. Like it's ways of using technology to help out, but when you're talking about somebody with ADHD, I mean, if they're diagnosed or not, there's a possibility that it's going to be. You cannot give someone with ADHD an app to look at. It doesn't make sense because they'll read it for 5 minutes and think, what's on Snapchat? It doesn't make sense.
No,
at all.
we have we really struggle with our focus. So
yeah.
All three of us, my sons and myself, have all been diagnosed with ADHD in the last 10 months. And I'm kind of glad that I have as well, because it means I understand my sons to any level. And it's actually bonded us because we're able to support each other. But yeah, our focus is horrendous, and it's exhausting as well. That's the other thing. It's really exhausting. In the mornings when I'm getting ready, I have to have a constant conversation with myself. I'll start looking at something, I'll be like, no, you don't need to do that right now. No, you don't need to do that right now. And it's all morning whilst I'm doing things because I'm constantly distracted. So an app is just the worst thing for somebody with ADHD. It's just, no, don't go there. I think it's very good for in a crisis. I know that there is an app now, can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, where if you're in a crisis you can text and they will text you back, and I have used it once. I didn't know who else to talk to because I don't always like to burden my friends and family. Sometimes I worry that what I'm worrying about and getting distressed about is silly, and so having that faceless thing to text and just go rah can actually be really helpful in a crisis. But long term, it's not good. We need face-to-face We need people to be heard. We need them to have the opportunity to speak and to be seen, actually be seen, and not dismissed for the things that they're worrying about. I think there's so much stigma around mental health still. This, it's okay to not be okay. It's almost become a trendy thing, and I despair a little bit sometimes because it still isn't actually okay to not be okay. It's not true. People don't, if people are feeling suicidal, if people are feeling really low and they're expressing those feelings, teenagers especially, they're so often written off as asking for attention. And it's like, yeah, you bet they're asking for attention. They are telling you how bad they're feeling. I know my son doesn't want to die. There are times when he just doesn't know how else to express just how awful he is feeling, how desperate he is for help. So if your teenager expresses that, so please listen, because honestly, they are asking for attention. They are asking for you to hear them, for you to see them, and to take them seriously. Don't dismiss it as attention-seeking behaviour, because,
it really riles me. I mean, like I said, I've got to be careful. I really do. I don't want to get in trouble. But, like, we're 2020 and we seem to have gone backwards when it comes to mental health, and I thought we were supposed to be going forwards. There was this push for social distancing officers and things when the lockdown was put in place. I saw one outside the train station. There must have been a drive to get people out. Why isn't there a drive to get counsellors in? It's not hard to see that the people that have been struggling through lockdown are going to add to the weight of what's going on with mental health in this country. It's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. They need to act now. You're right. I think your petition is perfect tool for motivating the government, because you've got to see this. You've got to see that there's going to be a problem. I just hope. Have you had much of a response? Have you filled up your petition?
No. So I at the moment I think I'm at 350 signatures. For the council to even look at it, I think it needs to have 1,000 signatures. Okay. I am thinking of doing a government petition one, because it's actually a nationwide thing. But for the moment, I'll just focus on Shropshire, because there's a part of me that I don't actually have the energy to fight this fight. I'm a full-time carer for my boys, and I work full-time too.
You've got a business, yeah.
I've got a business. But that said, if I don't stand up now, then who is? And if not now, then when? So as many people as possible, please sign my petition. Send me your stories, even if I've, by the time you publish this, I'll already have had the meeting, I think. So, but please keep sending me, because I'm just going to keep sending them information. Yes. I'm just going to be a thorn in the side. Again, I don't actually want to be adversarial. I'd really rather work with the council, with the services, and it's important actually that they get the input from the people that they are supposed to be helping, so that it's there's a way that this could be really amazing. The service that they provide, the people that they help, and where our young people and children go to in the future.
Yeah, I thank you for your passion. We could give this
much time. I know. Sorry.
No. It's fine. I love because it's positive talk. As negative as it is in your situation, it's positive because you want to make a change. These bad things are happening to you, but you want to make a difference.
I do think that. I'm quite surprised at myself, I have to admit. And it's made me realise that we should never think that us alone as one person is not enough to make change. You can, and you just have to fight for it. And sometimes you might feel that you're not in the right place, or that you're not strong enough, or that one person alone isn't enough. But you are enough. You just have to.
You made a difference to this town with a camera. Just you.
I didn't.
You did. I mean, look at what was going on with the newspaper.
I wasn't in the newspaper.
The doorstep thing wasn't it?
No.
Was that the Castlefields?
No, I wasn't in the paper at all. I was in my Shrewsbury magazine.
Okay.
And I was on the front.
What am I on about then? Because was that the rainbow thing I'm thinking about then? Because I remember seeing people from Castlefields. It was like it was like national thing.
I don't remember, but if I was in the national paper, somebody sent me a copy because I didn't see it.
Maybe I've got that wrong. But you did make a difference, so you did, because we got to see, you got to see these families, you got to see your families. This was like an image you were putting together, like a collage of Shrewsbury communities, and I thought it was inspiring.
Thank you.
And like the point being is, you went out with your camera. I am going to edit that bit out because I'm going to see it look stupid otherwise. But no, you did go out with your camera and you did make a difference, because you were showing the Shrewsbury what it's made of, and that's nice, you know. So one person can make a difference, and then you go and make a petition like this, and you know. But you are strong people. You are strong. How has business been for you since you've opened up here at the parade? I mean, it always seems busy here now. It never used to be.
No, it's great. I revamped my website at the same time, so I've managed to put everything online, so people can book appointments online now, and they can choose the dates that they want to come in, so it's not protracted with lots of messages backwards and forwards. That said, if you want an appointment, please do message me, because I'll book you in, obviously. Oh my god, sorry, you're going to have to edit so much.
No, that's fine. Has it been busy for you?
Yes and no. I've got lots of appointments upcoming, and I've got some exciting things for Christmas as well. So cool. Yes, fingers crossed. I'm in conversation tomorrow with somebody to hopefully have an amazing Christmas display in the studio, in the front section of it. So that will be a permanent thing from hopefully November the 26th all through New Year. And then that set will be for Christmas minis, so mini portraits that people come in. Bring in your dog, bring your cat, bring your kids. No more than 6, obviously. But also, I thought for the days that I'm not in, it'll just add to the shopping centre in being a bit of an attraction for people to look at. So I'm hoping literally to hold the whole front of the studio. Sounds
exciting. It's got Beth Heath written all over it by the sounds of it.
No, it was all my idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. I'm proud of you for that. I love having you here. I love because I know you. I love having Amy here. I've got Michelle at the Vegan Hub there. I've got the guys in the cafe. There's a really good feel here.
There is.
I'm not saying there wasn't before when we first came here as the Biscuit, but whatever feeling, whatever vibe there is here, it's kind of doubled. It's nice. It's feeling good. I can see people and wave, and I feel like people that come in here can feel that. You know.
I think so. You know, there is. I mean, I say good morning to everybody every day when I come in and out, and there's just smiles and waves, and I think there's that hint of positivity, you know, that 2020 has just been bizarre. I'm not going to say that little phrase that everybody's been saying because I hate it, but it's been bizarre, but there's still lots and lots of positivity. I've always thought that I wasn't that positive, but I realise that actually I am, because I'm always looking for the good stuff. And there's so much of it around, and in particular here in the parade, they've been very welcoming. It's a lovely atmosphere. I feel so blessed to have found this space for my work, and it's going to enable me to do more charity projects that I've got on my mind as well. So I have a meeting with the sheriff tomorrow to talk about that project.
Oh, I love Dean Harris. She's amazing.
She's wonderful.
Don't get me started on her, because I'll start man crushing over her. She's amazing. She's awesome.
But no, you know, they Christmas just is seemingly cancelled, you know, no carols, no lighting in the square. So I just thought, I need to do something. Christmas is not cancelled. We are going to have Christmas. I believe there's some people in the shopping centre who will be dressed as elves all of Christmas. I'll have to see if I can.
We've got to think of something we can do positive for the Biscuit. I haven't even thought about Christmas yet. I did see a story pop up on my laptop just before you came in, actually. Plan to save Christmas is going to cost $100 billion. I was just like, a pound, sorry, should I say. We're not in America, Alex.
Well, you know. Let's have a chat about that. So my Shrewsbury and I'm now going to be working for my Shrewsbury as their photographer.
Nice.
On and off.
Nice.
I just love my Shrewsbury.
Katie messaged me yesterday, let's go for a coffee, and I was like, yes, let's do that, because I don't speak to her enough. She's amazing. So, you know, very much like the Biscuit, I really believe in what my Shrewsbury does for Shrewsbury. You know, celebrating businesses and communities and doing things like that. And I've had a meeting, and we all wanted to save Christmas. Let's save Christmas in Shrewsbury. Come give us your ideas of how we can save Christmas in Shrewsbury. I think it would be amazing
and actually it was Katie Rink that came up with the idea of having Christmas carols on your doorsteps. So on VE Day, people were having their afternoon teas on their doorsteps. Let's do Christmas carols on your doorsteps. If we can't have carols in the square, have Christmas carols on your doorsteps.
So some guy stood in the middle of a street in Castlefield just been like, and 1, 2, 3.
Let's find out how to do it. It's Katie's idea, and I just think it's fantastic.
I think it's a great idea. I love that.
We could have somebody going and, you know how they put like those choirs together on Zoom? So we could have people being videoed on their doorsteps, and I'll photograph it, of course, singing, whether it's one verse or one line, and we could put it together and make one massive big video that maybe could be projected onto the market hall wall, something like that, and then that can be played, so we can still have carols, and maybe projected onto the wall in the square, so we can still have carols in the square, but maybe everybody could video themselves singing a section of a carol. There's something there. Sorry, I've got all excited now.
No, you're making me feel. I'm sat back in my chair and kind of like, oh my god, this is such an amazing idea. I would love to help with that.
I think it would be amazeballs. So sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I haven't even thought about Christmas yet, but thinking about it now, I would love like this really sentimental, family-orientated Christmas. Where it's not all about going out and buying the new Xbox and PlayStation, which is gonna be because it's been released around then.
Tell me about it. I started saving. Not for me.
I'm switching. I'm going from Xbox to PlayStation. It's made my friends go, ooh, my wife go, what? But anyway, it's not all about boosting the economy as a whole. You don't have to go out there and spend. Looking after your community is better. I want to try and do as much of my Christmas shopping in independent shops as I can, and I'm not going to be splurging on people. I'm not going to be spending so ridiculous amounts. I'm going to buy little intimate little things that I know people will love, because I think that's worth more.
Absolutely. I'm such a huge advocate of independent businesses in Shrewsbury. They are the lifeblood of our community, I think, and we need to celebrate all of them. So, there are masses and masses of them out there with wonderful gifts and all so worthy of supporting, because, that's one of the attractions of Shrewsbury that tourists come to, is because we have got these amazing independent shops that are unique and aren't anywhere else. So we need to do something about that.
I was speaking to a guy last night, David Raby, my friend, and we were talking about The Boys TV series, and I was like, it's on Amazon. He leaned into the camera and goes, I do not fund Bezos. I do not give him any of my money. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
So here's a tip. I do this quite a lot. Sometimes I can't, but if you find something you love on Amazon, find out what the company is, and go and look for them off Amazon, and quite often you'll find there'll be 10% discounts or something, so you can still buy that product from that company and support them and they don't have to pay any fees to Amazon. So.
And it won't be dumped in your recycling bin when you're not in or something horrible. That's happened to me before. I was in the shower or something, and I heard the knock at the door. Like you do, and I looked out the living room window, and he's put it in the wheelie bin as he walked out. I was like,
thing is, though, at the moment, in defence of delivery drivers everywhere, they have to leave it on your doorstep and they take a photograph. But I do think they should just at least wait for you to answer the door to make sure they know it's gone in. But yeah, they are. I do
defend drivers.
They have such a hard job.
It's all about treating people fairly, and I don't think Amazon does that. I don't think anything about Amazon is good, to be honest, apart from the fact that it's convenient. That's it. That's the only thing. But independent businesses is the way forward. And I think Christmas, it sounds like you're doing a good thing, because I do feel like we do need to look at the fundamentals of what Christmas is. And it's all about family and love and being together. And that's what I love about Christmas.
I think we should start a campaign, Save Shrewsbury's Christmas.
I don't think we need to use the word save. I think make Shrewsbury's Christmas.
Oh, no, I like that even better. Yeah.
Make Shrewsbury's Christmas, because I don't think it's not a... Christmas shouldn't be about money and about how much it should be about getting together. I know we can't really do that because of the pandemic, but there are ways that we can all support each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I say Save Christmas, I mean, there's so many events and get-togethers that have been cancelled.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can still have Christmas. I love Christmas.
What are your plans for the studio then? Obviously Christmas, get that out of the way. It's just a case of having a place of operation for you.
So yeah, my studio is many things to me. It's my sanctuary, somewhere to go and work and edit, where I can actually focus and concentrate, because at home there's too many distractions.
Yes.
It's a place for me to meet wedding clients and anybody who wants to have photography with me in any way. It's somewhere for me to actually do photographs. So
yes.
I love doing dog portraits. Last week I had 3 cats and 2 kids all at the same time.
Nice.
It was not carnage. I was quite surprised. So I do head portraits, family portraits. I do absolutely adore doing newborn photography, and in fact I've just photographed Madame Lama's granddaughter, which was beautiful. Nice. Absolutely beautiful. So the studio is for meetings, for editing, and I have lots more plans. The one of the things I desperately want to do is use the studio to do good, and I've had a friend who's really helped me and my business get off the ground, and I want to pay forward his kindness to me by doing things for others. So there's a project that I'm going to have a meeting with the sheriff for tomorrow, and I'll only talk about it because I want to raise funds to be able to do it. It's not something that will be advertised. It's not something that I will use the photographs to promote my business, because that's not what it's for. My Ladies of Grey portraits, do you remember?
Yes.
So
yes,
I'm going to continue offering those Ladies of Grey portraits to be part of a permanent sort of online exhibition, but also anybody that has their Ladies of Grey portrait, or gentlemen, please do come and have a Gentleman of Grey portrait. All the profits from those portraits will go directly to funding makeovers and portraits for women survivors of domestic abuse. It's something I feel very strongly about, mm-hmm. and I would like to remind these women of who they are, and give them a bit of self-esteem and self-confidence back. So anybody that books Ladies of Grey portrait, Gentlemen of Grey portrait, that is where that money will go to. But you won't ever see any of it online, because obviously it's very personal for these women, and I won't be using it to promote my business, because that's not what it's about. So please book a Ladies of Grey.
Thank you so much for being you. Honestly, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Thanks.
I think that's fantastic. Like I said, you give so much, you do. And I feel grateful to know you. Honestly, that was really touching. That was really touching. I hope it all goes well with the high show. I'm sure it will. I mean, I spoke to Dean, and she was like, "Okay, how can I help you? How can I help you?" And I was just like, I have a problem with asking for things. That's the thing. Like, if it was for a charity, then I'd be like, yeah, I need this. I need posters. I need this. But for the biscuit, I'm kind of like,
it's so hard. Hard.
Yeah.
A friend last week came to visit me just at a very low moment, and they looked at me and said, "How can I help you?" And I was kind of like, I don't know. And in the end, I said, actually, I'm so tired in the evenings. If you could do me a batch cook of something, that would be so helpful. And it's the first time I've actually asked for help. And he was so happy to help me, and it made him feel good. So I, give people the opportunity to, there's a saying, you'll have to edit this bit. Don't deny people the opportunity to do something nice for you, because it makes them just feel just as happy as it does you.
Nice. So, I got told to take the apple. Okay. Someone offers you an apple, take the apple. So thank you very much, Jamie at Waste Morgan, for cooking me and the boys lasagna and pasta. It was amazing. Fantastic. That's lovely. Right, I'm going to have to wrap things up, because I don't know how much battery power is left on this Zoom.
I talk an awful lot.
No, it's been amazing doing this in person properly, without having Zoom or Skype or anything that's crackling in the background. This has been amazing. I've loved getting to know you, and I wish you the absolute best with the studio next door. It looks fantastic.
So much.
And Christmas, we'll definitely talk about that. And tell people where they can find you online to book.
So I'm now at birgittazouTmanphoto.com, but you can also just find me on the lower floor of the Parade Shopping Centre. I'm there in and out all the time. So just Google me. I'm the only one in England. I'm the only Birgitta Zoutman in England. You'll find me. And even if you spell my name wrong, it still, Google says, did you mean Birgitta Zoutman? So, yeah. Google me is probably the easiest way to find me.
Brilliant. I love that. You've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for coming to sit with me. That was an amazing interview. I really enjoyed that. Don't just check out Birgitta's website. Make sure you check out the Shrewsbury Biscuit one too, guys. It's at www.theshrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk, and all our audio is available on there. If you're not into Spotify, iTunes, or wherever else you can find it, like Podbean, you can go onto the website and listen via there. You can also get in contact with us as well. There's a contact thing there. So if you've got any suggestions for the show, if you want to come on, or if you want to be a part of the Shrewsbury Biscuit, whether you want to help us out with a studio or give us some sponsor money, I don't know, whatever you want to. We're always, to be fair, we like to listen to people about ideas as well, like Christmas, like that my ears pricked up. So if you're anything like that, to get in touch there. That website is made by our friends at Web Orchard. And this podcast has come to you today from the Parade Shopping Centre, and make sure you come here because there is so much changing. Every week this place looks completely different. There's somebody new coming in, doing something cool with the car parks. The Riverview cafe looks amazing at the back there. If you want to sit and have something nice to eat and a great drink and just look out at this amazing view of the English Bridge, they've got a brilliant outdoor seating area there. So make sure you check it out. This has been amazing. Thank you, Birgitta. This has been brilliant. Catch us next time. Peace out.